Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
So Mike Tyson was on a podcast with T.I., and he was asking why his children don't date black people. And he was wondering if he had something to do with that. Take a look.
Why my kids don't like black kids? My kids don't date black kids. Why's that? Why
I
that?
don't know, man. They're so rich. They got to give us somebody who speaks their language.
Is that
right?
real talk, though?
I mean, but you're going to see, the odds are you're going to send your kids to Ivy League schools from the time they're small, right? Okay? And when you go there, they communicate with the kids that they're around. And most of those kids are going to be little white kids.
I think sometimes, like, if I look at my daughter and I see her, and I see that she's attracted to white guy, and I say to myself, I didn't set a good example as a black man then. My mind goes back, they must have seen me sometimes when I was vulnerable and said, hey, I don't want to be with no one like that. I don't want no one to talk to. Hey, scary. I don't want to be with somebody like that. My son said that, so why, I said, I don't like, because I see how my sister act. Oh, I said, whoa, that blew my mind.
That's crazy.
I said, what? How do your sister act? Your sister's awesome. I think it's the aggressiveness. I think it's confrontational stuff. They think I don't see that. I see black women. I see lust and something. I think that I don't think about fighting with them.
Nah.
I don't think about that aggressive. I think that's even more so.
Right.
I don't understand the concept. I don't understand their vision, what they see, the illusion of beauty, or what do they see? That confused me with my kids. What do they see? How come they can't see what I see?
I mean, it could be several moving parts, right? Like T.I. mentioned, it could be because they went to an Ivy League schools, and for the most part, the vast majority of people that go to those schools are the folks. So they're products of their environment as it relates to education. They're products of their environment as it relates to the neighborhood they live in, for example. And that could play a role in it. And then also, like he is also reflecting, is it something that, they saw in my, behavior or in the things that I've done, or, the product of their environment within their household. And what led them to say, you know what, I don't want to be with black people. He also mentions that, his son was talking about how, black women are aggressive, and maybe it's because, again, the environment that he was in was around the folks who I guess he feels are less aggressive, right? So I think it's a bunch of moving parts. When it comes to Mike Tyson, all they ever saw was him with black women, but they definitely didn't pick up that gene. Now, what I will also say, though, is that me personally, I've experienced that with family members as it relates to the comment about women being aggressive or black women being aggressive and strong and all that stuff. I've had black family members say to me, and these are the black family members that are only married to the folks, have said to me that, if you weren't my family member, I wouldn't touch you. And I would say, why? Let's have a conversation about that. Why wouldn't you? Oh, you're too strong and you're too independent and you're too feisty and you're too this and you're too that. And in my mind, I'm thinking, so what's wrong with being strong? What's wrong with being independent? What's wrong with, defending yourself if you feel like, you're not being treated with respect or love or any of those things? What's wrong with that? Why does that make, a black woman unworthy of a black man? Unless I'm missing something. I know many, many black women who are like that, who are happily married to very good black men. So as far as I'm concerned, if black men choose to date outside their race, that is their choice. And they know why they're doing that. The answer is within them. They shouldn't project it on the black woman. Okay? So, in the terms of Mike Tyson, it's the environment, I believe, that they were subjected to as to why they, choose to be with them folks. And also, oftentimes, black men who are, in a higher ranking as it relates to, where they live and how much money they have, etc., they tend to think that, the folks on their arm, it just looks better. It's a prestige thing. They feel like, they have this, I guess, white savior complex. And it's like, if you're white, you're right. And, I don't want to be with a black woman. But that was an interesting conversation that Mike Tyson is having. And I love the fact that he's reflecting on that. Unfortunately, love has no color, as they say. Love, love who you want to love. And, the heart wants what the heart wants. So he can't really force them to be with a black person. So it's interesting. And I love the fact that he's reflecting on that and also trying to hold some accountability, like, what did I do? What did I expose them to the point where they are like completely against, being with a black person. But maybe in time they will, maybe in time they'll meet somebody that will, you know, change their mind. You never know. Anyway, let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News app. You can grab it at the Google or Apple store. You will not be disappointed. Download that app and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Emma Ansah Unfiltered.